What I found about it, it's like a Jamaican word. It's very clean.
Drama.
When I went in there, it was crazy.
Chris had one job. Cook a fish, Chris.
Verdict.
It could go either way.
6 countries send their best chefs to plead their case. Who will take home the $10,000 award? All rise for the Maggi Food Court Caribbean Season 3. Previously on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, secondary school students from Irwin High School and Queens High School shared a surprise dual win, whilst tertiary school students from SBCS Global Institute in Trinidad and Tobago won the first ever Maggi Food Court Caribbean Schools title. Back in the experienced chef's cases, the brutal knockout rounds concluded with 6 case-winning defendants standing tall. In this episode, our 6 winning chefs from the knockout rounds will be split into teams of 3 and must prepare a 3-course meal in a 3 versus 3 battle royale, relay style. The chef who prepared the weakest course from each team will be going home. This culinary case is presided over by Maggi Food Court Judge Jaron Geronimo Green. Our jury members are Business Executive Officer of Nestle Caribbean, Okino Petrie, Celebrity Chef Adrian Fort, and cooking show host from the Food Network, Roger Mooking.
All rise. Maggi Food Court is now in session. Presided over by Judge Geronimo.
This is Maggi Food Court Caribbean, the triple trial.
Interesting.
All rise. Judge Geronimo presiding.
Chefs, welcome back to Maggi Food Court. Today it will be a very meaty affair in court. We started with 16, now there are only 6 of you. You have already selected your teams. You will be given 90 minutes in which to create 3 perfect courses. All courses must include cow's head or pig's head or both. The chef that presents the weakest course in this round from each team will be eliminated. This is the triple trial. Let the trials begin!
Battle 1. Chef Rayan versus Kaim.
If you're working in the same restaurants, you might have probably an ideology or a method of doing things. So now you will have to compete against somebody who knows you very well.
Most definitely, I think I can beat Kaim. And not just Kaim, but anyone that's in this competition I can beat. I'm not playing safe no more. I'm done with all the friendly stuff. We're at the point where it's either I go hard or I go home, and I don't plan to go home. I don't have a home to go to right now.
I'm used to being in the kitchen with Rayan, so it wasn't a weird feeling or anything like that. First thing I know that anything I have to do with the head or anything like muscular, the cheeks or the head or things like that, I know it take a very long time to cook. First thing I do, I get a mallet and beat it until it's tender. I cut it in smaller pieces just to make sure. Season, Maggi, and I just go from there.
So things are heating up between these 2 contenders. Kaim is working on a beef head taco, I believe, which I'm super excited to try.
And I'm excited about this because Rayan is doing a pig brain bruschetta, which, you know, he's got to cook this thing properly or else it could be very mushy, soft, texture, pull in, not good. But I have confidence.
The reason why I use the brain of the pig is because it's easier to cook. It's much softer. It's like quick saute and it's ready. I gathered all the ingredients that I wanted. I got the baguette from the fridge, I cut it, I grill it, I placed it aside. I started to cook the protein with the turmeric. I used turmeric, the jerk season and everything. I had set it aside on low flames, let it cook, and I made a slaw, I made a cream cheese, a berry cream cheese.
Oh, yes, yeah. Good?
Yeah. I did a taco because I know some tacos are like a bite and It don't have to be completely thin. Start cutting up my onions. I cut up a little okra and caramelize that with a little sugar. And I made a little pineapple salsa.
This is a great challenge where we're using pig head, cow head, respecting the whole breadth of what it's to provide, you know?
Oh, plating in 3.
When Kaim told me to plate in 3, I knew exactly what it was. That's something that we do. I work, we communicate a lot, we help each other.
Kaim, yeah. Start plate here.
All right, chefs, you have 30 seconds to finish. 30 seconds before your cooking time expires. In here smells good though. Smells better than the last visit I made. All righty. 10.
Bro,
7.
fall short, man.
6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And your time is done. Step away from the counter. All right, chefs, you've done a marvelous job. Your dishes are looking great. But as you know, the final decision rests with the jury.
Battle 2. Chef Damien versus Jamila.
Daman in previous rounds have really demonstrated a very high intense culinary skill. Jamila, on the other hand, we haven't quite seen significantly much from her just yet, so this could be a moment for her, especially for redemption.
I pared a piece of the aged and I took some of the bones from the cowhead. I coincide them, I rinse them, season them with my Maggi all-purpose seasoning. I use some of the Maggi green blend seasoning. I kind of sear that in the pressure pot, add some onion, some garlic, and I close and let that cook for a while.
The first thing I want to do is get the pig tongue cut up and some of the pig cheek, get that cooking. Usually we boil that, usually it's 3 hours, 4 hours. We got 30 minutes today, so I had to get that on and see what happened, cut it as small as I could. After that, I would start to do the sweet potato pudding. We grated that, put it in the blender, blend it up with some water, onions, herbs, brown sugar, and some browning. Usually we would steam this in the oven 30 minutes, so we had to adapt it.
Damien is making pudding and sauce. I haven't had pudding and sauce in a long time. So I'm super excited to see his interpretation of that. And I believe Jamila is doing a beef skewer?
Beef skewer.
I'd already add a whole plantain to the grill to roast. I quickly peel some Irish potato, add to my boiling pot, and then I went on to make my corn tomato salsa.
So pudding and sauce is my absolute favorite thing. I know some Bajans watching this are gonna be like, what he gonna do now? He gonna butcher our dish. But it's 30 minutes, right? And it's to use them hard cuts, the pig tongue and thing. It was rough, but I still wanted to do the flavors from my home, so that's why I chose pudding and sauce.
With the ginger glaze, I blend ginger, garlic, some Maggi seasoning, which is all-purpose, some more garlic seasoning, some salt and pepper. I add some sugar to that as well with soy sauce and oil. I blanched some broccoli and then I add that to a saute pan with my pak chow that was ready to go.
Time is the biggest problem with this whole challenge. 30 minutes, to be honest, no matter what you give me in 30 minutes, it can be rough. When it got closer to the time, as much time as I could get the pork up, I strained that and let that mix up with all the lime juice and the pickled Christophine. And some sweet potato crisp, just a little crunch, and it looked like pig ears, so it worked.
For my potato smash, I add both the roasted plantain and the potato to the processor with some heavy cream, some salt and pepper, and garlic butter, and I blend that to a smooth texture. Then I plate all of my meals.
Three, 2, 1.
Chefs, your time for cooking has expired. Step away from the counter.
Battle 3. Chef Carrie versus Jonathan.
I know walking into the kitchen and I saw the cow and the pig head, I knew they were going to do some odd thing.
I thought to myself, how in the world will I get anything just tender enough to serve in such a short amount of time?
All right, fellas, so we're in the last leg of the triple threat trials. We have Jonathan here from Suriname and Carrie from Jamaica. You know, things are really, really heating up. We've seen some great dishes so far. We've seen some not so great dishes. So, I mean, you know, it's coming down to the wire.
So my idea was to, you know what, let's do a ginger and carrot cow head wonton soup. First thing I went in the kitchen was to draw for the pressure cooker, because I don't know what the next guy going to do. Reach for the parts of the cow that I needed, which was the tongue and also the jowl. And afterwards, I did a little bit of, add my seasonings, add some water, put it on the fire.
The dish that I made doesn't really have a name. I thought back to one of the books I read a few months ago that you can use different products to tenderize meat. Some people use baking soda and blah, 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 but I used kiwi. Kiwi, it has enzymes in it that will really quickly tenderize meat.
I think that's the key in this challenge, right? Where they have to know what equipment to use based on the time frame that they have. So I'm just looking forward to some good head, because so far we've not seen some of the dishes that have, you know, come out as well as we wanted. Some have been chewy. So I'm hoping that these final two will give us exactly what we're looking for.
While that was going on, I was working on my stuffing, my filling for the wonton, which was the ginger and the carrot, scallions, and of course using back the boil from the cow head to make the broth for the soup.
Carrie is doing a head wonton soup, just putting the head inside the wonton. So should be interested.
I pan-seared the meat and I tried to get it tender with the kiwi. Then I put it back and I just stewed it a little bit to get it nice and, yeah, just a little bit together, a little bit thick. Like I said, it's couscous. It's made in, I boiled it in a coconut broth.
Jonathan, I believe, is doing a Surinamese dish, which I've never had food from Suriname. I don't know if you guys have. He's doing a version of a cook-up rice, but he's doing quinoa instead of rice. So that should be interesting. I hope the head gets the shine in this dish.
Here in Jamaica, we love the cow head soup. We love soup here. We love our goat belly, we love the cow head, we love all of that. So I wanted to do that, do a soup, but also do something where I'm still using the meats, but putting like a little bit of gourmet to it.
The dish I made was something that I have always wanted to make. It's nothing that was ever created. It's just different flavors and something that has been in my mind since I started being a chef. I'm all about the risk. This is it. I can't just go with something I've done before.
For sure, I'm gonna think that mine is better. But I didn't get a good look at my opponent's dish, to be honest with you.
But I feel like in the short amount of time what she did, I don't know how she did it, but if she pulled it off, she's a magician. I don't think she pulled it off like that.
Chefs, your time will expire in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, your time is up. Step away from the counter. Chef Carrie, tell me, how are you looking? How do you feel about this dish?
I feel good, chef.
10 grand or 5 grand? 10. She says it's 10. Chef Jonathan, tell me, how are you feeling? 10 grand or 4 grand?
25.
25 grand. All right, so that's it. Battle hog head and cow head is over. Now we will present these dishes to the jurors.
It's time to present the dishes to the jury.
All right, Ryan, tell us about your $10,000 dish.
So today, I mimicked a bruschetta. I used bone marrow and beef mince. Also, I added a sweet and sour slaw. Topped the bread with cream cheese, and I have a berry sauce on top.
All right, thank you, chef.
Oh, good. Crostini isn't really a crostini. It's not really toasted properly at all. This is bread. I'm getting cartilage.
Mm-hmm. Mine is very chewy.
This is the challenge. It's a hard thing to do this kind of cut without braising or using the pressure cooker under this time limit. The curry is a nice full flavor. And I'm not sure what the cream cheese is doing other than giving a protective layer so the bread doesn't get soggy, which is significant. But flavor-wise, I don't taste the cream cheese, but it's all contributed, you know? So let's send in Kaim.
All right, Kaim, what did you prepare for us today?
I prepared a beef cheek taco with pineapple salsa, caramelized onions and okras, and feta cheese.
All right, thank you, chef.
Let's do the do. Remember when he said he cut the beef small enough? That's not small enough. And it's already giving me some pushback. I can't even stick my fork in it.
You have to muscle up your jaw to eat this, you know?
Piece I have is tender. And the flavor is really nice. I have stew, I don't have taco pieces.
For me, I don't get the chewy rubber beef thing. I'm not sure if he accomplished what he set out in the start, but other than that, it's a nicely decorated plate.
I'm still chewing.
All right, let's move on to the next course. Damien, what have you made here?
This is something that we eat at home in Barbados on a Saturday. It's called put in a sauce. So usually we boil only pork, all kinds of things, ears, tongue, or just keep it lean. We pickle it in Scotch bonnet, lime juice, and salt. That's usually going with a steamed sweet potato pudding. Usually we do it in the oven, but today we did it on the stove top just because of the time constraints. But that's usually with sweet potato, brown sugar, and some herbs and onion and that kind of thing. On top of that, there's just a little sweet potato crisp for the pig ears.
All right, thank you, chef.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking about. Rich flavors.
It's very good.
Tender. And the Scotch bonnet at the end, perfect kick. The pickled chocho is real nice. And I like that he brought him to the plate.
All right, let's welcome Jamila. All right, chef, tell us about your dish.
All right, I've made a ginger glazed onion unskewered with a roasted sweet plantain, mashed smash, and saute broccoli and pak chow with corn salsa to top it.
All right, thank you, chef. Yeah, it's very tender.
Oh, that mash is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was complaining earlier we're getting a lot of mash, but this one I like.
The vegetables aren't overcooked at all. I mean, they're perfect.
This eats very well together. This is a very balanced dish. Ooh, pak chow nice and crisp though.
It is a good effort based on the time that she had. All right, time for the next course. All right, Carrie, tell us about your dish.
All right, so what we have here today is cow head. And here in Jamaica, we love the cow head and so on for certain celebrations. And I wanted to incorporate that with a little bit of Asian style because, you know, we also love the Chinese. So what I did was a ginger and carrot, one cow head of wonton soup. And the broth is also from pressuring the cow head. And I also did some toasted cashews just to add a little bit of crunch to the dish.
All right, thank you, chef.
This smells fantastic.
It does.
And the nuts in there.
It has a kick at the end.
The nuts are really nice. The cashew, really nice when you get that with the broth. Mine looking nice, look at that.
The flavors in the wonton.
That ginger is nice though. When you get the ginger and you have some of the broth and then the peanuts, everything really plays off each other there. It's well balanced.
I'm really impressed by this dish from her.
Let's send in Chef Jonathan. Chef Jonathan, please tell us about your dish.
Here we have cow cheek. I sauteed it and then I marinated it in kiwi so that it gets a little bit less intense. Then I made some couscous. I boiled that in a coconut broth. It's a little bit in the style of muksalisi. It's not entirely anything like it in the sense of how it looks. You make that with rice. It's a Surinamese dish, but I use the exact same flavors.
All right, thank you, Chef.
I'm a little concerned, Jonathan. You're like, last time he gave us quinoa with some green in it. Now he gave us couscous with some green in it. It's kind of like a similar trick, you know?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Might be tough.
Yeah, I don't think that he put much thought that he didn't put into it in terms of this is a challenge that's worth 10,000 hours. I just feel like I'd never eat this again.
But if you're gonna do something so similar over and over, you should be really great at it, and it should be amazing.
All right, I think it's time for us to deliberate.
Clearly some front runners here and some people that kind of been lagging in the back, you know what I mean? And the skills are really just starting to show. Even during the team challenge, you could tell who the strong competitors are in this competition.
We have a decision. Baileys?
Chefs, in this challenge, you were given a specific task to prepare the very best course, each of you, using cow head and pig's head. What you did in 30 minutes was spectacular. Two chefs presented two courses that were magnifico. These chefs that I'll announce can leave the courtroom. Chef Carrie and Chef Daman, congratulations, you're moving to the semifinals. You can leave the courtroom. 4 brilliant chefs who cooked their hearts out. Who will move on to the semifinals? Chef Jamila, you're safe. You can leave the courtroom. The final chef who will be moving on to the semi-final round of Maggi Food Court Caribbean is Chef Rayan, Chef Jonathan and Chef Kaim. You both did a spectacular job. Unfortunately, you will be leaving Maggi Food Court Caribbean today. Thank you very much, chefs, for pouring your hearts out on the plate.
I don't think that anyone would have been able to pull off what I pulled off.
But I don't put my heart on the plate, so I can't complain.
I think I'm doing my country proud. Hopefully they think the same.
I have to just adjust and move on. I just have to win this now.
I'm back, and I'll keep coming back.
And all of the people that were sarcastic with me are the ones that are actually not in the competition anymore. Wet, wet, wet. Soak, soak, soak.
Next time on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, it's the semi-finals. Tensions are high as we're now one step closer to the finish. Chefs Jamila and Rayan must now face off against Chefs Carrie and Daman to determine the final 2 moving on to the finals.